Hi everyone, this is Katie. Thanks for coming back to my channel. Today I'm going to paint this picture of my cat. His name is Milo, and unfortunately he went missing a few weeks ago. There's some pictures of him up on the screen. He was a really good cat. He was an indoor cat. I don't even know how he got outside other than he must have followed one of my kids out into the backyard. But we just couldn't find him one day and looked everywhere. Looked in my whole house because I thought he must just be stuck somewhere. Couldn't find him. Shook his food bag around. I put up flyers and posted online and chased every orange cat I could find in my town, and it's like he just disappeared. Anyways, so I wanted to paint this because we miss him. So I'm using some acrylic paint. It's it's actually the acrylic paint that re-wets with water. I forget what it's called. Atelier something. I have it down here. Atelier is the brand. Interactive Acrylic. You can keep it wet longer with water, and it also has its own little activating solution that you can. It also makes it stay wet longer. I was kind of trying to make acrylics be more like oils because I love oils, but it doesn't really make them the same, so I actually don't use the activator part very much. Yeah, I just use oils if I want oils. So anyways, I wanted to paint Milo and hang him up in my art studio because he used to sit up here on my desk while I would do stuff, and I just miss him. So just blocking in color here mostly right now, and I drew the sketch beforehand before I started filming, and I was actually pretty happy with it. Looks like him. So in fact, the finished painting looks so much like him that if my dog Otis can see it, he starts getting all like excited and barky because I don't know if he thinks it's actually Milo or what, but it's kind of funny. Even the dog has missed Milo. I've seen him looking for him, but he's just nowhere. So I was painting just the different colors in the fur, trying to get some of the patterns right without much detail at first. And the fur was kind of enjoyable to paint that way, just to try and get the different tones. That's a lovely view of the back of my hand. So we have just recently gotten a new kitten. Not to replace Milo, but even though it kind of is to replace Milo, but on one of my posts about him online, someone contacted me and said they had a kitten that they needed to rehome, and they wanted to offer him to us to help the void that Milo has left. And it was right about the time where I was considering another cat, just because, well, my 5-year-old was super attached to Milo, and so was I, so I thought maybe another cat would help not feel so sad every time we think of him. And it does, the kitten helps. He's also an orange cat, but he's a little bit lighter. We named him Butterscotch. And he's very funny. We love him already. But it doesn't take away the sadness about Milo. I still think about him, wonder where he is, what happened to him. And it's getting cold, and I think, is he cold? Is he freezing somewhere? Is he getting food wherever he is? Or is he dead? The worst part is I don't know what happened to him. If I knew he was dead, then, that'd be one thing I could move on, but I don't know if he's dead. I'm hoping he's in some old lady's house who doesn't look at Facebook and didn't see my flyers, and she feeds him a lot and he's happy. That's what I hope happened to him. But not knowing is just not very fun. Let's see, I put more of the fur pattern in. Just putting some highlights on his nose. I love having an orange cat. I think orange cats are the nicest cats. I had cats growing up, and not that they weren't nice, they were just kind of snobby, and they were girl cats, and if they didn't want to have anything to do with you, they would just leave. Whereas Milo was just like the most chill cat ever. I mean, he kind of had to be. My 5-year-old would just carry him around, and he would just lay there and be like, yep, this is okay, this is fine. He was a very good cat. He had a small amount of white just on his cheeks and a little on his chin. But other than that, he was all orange. We got him from the local cat rescue here. He was a kitten. He was originally found underneath someone's trailer, and he ended up at the rescue. And they actually named him Milo, so when we picked him out, we were going to change his name. And we brought him home, and we just kept thinking of names. But we always started to come back to Milo. So eventually we decided that is his name. We don't need to change it. And shortly after we got Milo was when we got our dog. And because we already had a Milo, we named him Otis. So we had Milo and Otis. But our Otis is not a pug. He's a Jack Russell. And he's crazy. I'm filling in the eyeballs here. Cats have such big irises. You don't see any white of their eye pretty much, which is pretty. I remember as a kid convincing myself that when their black part of their eye, of a cat's eye, was really thin, like a line, that meant they were happy. Even though obviously that means it's just really sunny out, but in my child mind, I thought that meant cats are happy, so. My mom reminded me that when in high school, when my cat went missing, I also went to school in art and painted a picture of my cat in art class. So Apparently, painting a picture is how I deal with it. With grief, I guess. Which is true because I also drew a picture of my dad after he died. So it does help get it out for me. I just made the background a dark blue and black mixed together. Also to kind of just keep most of the focus on Milo and his orange color. I really liked his eyes and the highlights and how they turned out good. Milo had a very distinct meow. It almost even sounded like he was saying hello when he would meow. It was very funny. We took a couple trips when we had Milo, and we would keep him home with the neighbor would come check on him every day. But sometimes we would log in on our Alexa and just check on him and call his name, and he would meow back with his meow that sounded like he was saying hello. And it was funny. I've read of cats being gone for months. I even read of one that was gone the whole year, and then they just showed back up one day like they never left, wanting to be let in. And so I keep hoping that will happen someday. If that happened, then we'd have 2 cats. I'm okay with that. Although I don't know if Milo would want, how happy he would be to see another cat if he came back home now. Looks like I'm still adding some shadow fur color. I'm painting on some canvas paper from Arteza. So I actually like it. It's good to paint on. It didn't buckle, and like with the background I put a lot of paint on there. So for it to stay straight with all that paint, I thought was pretty good. It doesn't exactly feel like you're painting on canvas. It's a little different, but it's not bad. It has a texture that, I mean, kind of looks like canvas, but it just feels different when you're painting. See, I just threw some straight blue on there. I think I go back in with some black and mix it. I kept accidentally painting out of the frame, and then I would realize that I was doing that. I'm like, oh no, I gotta get back in the camera frame. So Milo was such a chill cat, but he didn't purr very much, which I thought was weird. I mean, he would sometimes, especially when he really wanted you to pet him. But as far as just if you sat next to him and started petting him, would he start purring? Usually not. Unless you were my son, my 13-year-old, he would purr for him, because I think Milo just decided that my son was his person, so he would always go in his room and sit by him while he was playing his games. And if my son's door was shut, then Milo would just sit out there and meow super loud until he let him in. So, and that's funny because Christian didn't even like cats, and Milo just decided that they were best friends. So I think looks like I got most of the colors blocked in, working on some more details. I remember as I was painting this, being happy that I could look at it and just, it looks like Milo. That's what he looked like. I have paint on my fingers. I'm kind of a messy painter. I end up getting paint everywhere. That's how I cook too. I get food everywhere. I've tried. There's just no fixing that. I'm a messy painter and cooker, so. I'm painting his whiskers now, which I really thought really made the painting look good when I got the whiskers in. Apparently I had trouble making those bottom ones be seen, getting enough paint on my brush. When you're painting thin lines like that, sometimes it's hard. If you put too much paint on, then you're going to make too thick of a line, but if there's not enough paint, then you're not going to see your line. And I usually, when I'm using acrylic, usually thin it down a little bit with some water, so that it's more of a consistency of what like ink would be, and that can get you a thinner line. And it's called a dagger striper brush, which is actually a watercolor brush, I think, but it's a very angled brush, and the tip of that brush can get you a nice thin line. I think that's the brush that I'm using, or it might just be a angled brush, I'm not sure. But dagger striper, especially the ones by Princeton, those are good brushes for tiny lines. Alright, if you made it this far, thank you. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you for listening to me talk about my cat. And I'll just let the video play out from here. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate everyone, and I hope to see you again in another video. Thanks.